Wear the skin of anyone killed.
SCP-034 is classified safe, but its first rule is isolation. A locked case, a protective sheath, constant surveillance, and Level 4 access only. Anyone touching it enters a full observation period until their identity is confirmed. The object itself looks primitive, a pure obsidian knife, about 1,000 years old, crude in construction, and still impossibly sharp without maintenance. Expert analysis points toward a South American origin. The origin theory becomes darker through historical accounts from Spanish conquistadors. They describe priests using similar blades in live flaying rituals, wearing the victim's skin as tribute to their gods. SCP-034 activates through contact with living human flesh. If the knife removes even 1 square centimeter, and that piece is placed against another person's skin, the second person begins to become the first. The effect is temporary but measurable. Testing gives the Foundation a brutal ratio, approximately 1 hour of transformation for every square centimeter of flesh used, ending with a reversion to the original form. The imitation is not a disguise. SCP-034 changes height, weight, muscle mass, bone density, hair growth, eyesight, strength, medical conditions, and even DNA. Only wounds made by the knife itself fail to transfer. The mind does not change with the body. Subjects retain their own personality and memories, yet the transformation takes only seconds and is described as extremely painful, with trauma increasing as the borrowed body differs more sharply. The theft has one controlling limit. The person copied must remain biologically alive. If the source individual dies, the transformed subject immediately reverts, no matter how much time should have remained. SCP-034 appears to work properly only on humans. Cross-species tests range from no effect to partial hair growth, and a later anomalous humanoid trial ends with environmental damage, injuries, and 1 death. Lab Report 034-A begins with the boundary between dead and living tissue. A cadaver sample does nothing, but a sample from D532 lets D452 mimic D532 until the donor is terminated. The next tests refine what alive means. A medically induced coma still supports the effect and consciousness, while tissue from a brain-dead patient creates the appearance but leaves the subject unconscious until reversion. SCP-034 copies damage written into the body. A donor with a broken arm gives the subject a broken arm, and a terminal genetic illness transfers so completely that both donor and transformed subject expire together. Animal trials confirm the boundary is unstable. Chimpanzee tissue produces only rapid body hair, salmon tissue does nothing, and O5 authorized anomalous humanoid testing ends badly enough to suspend that category indefinitely. SCP-034 is recovered after it has already been used operationally. An impostor wearing Dr. Skirk's identity attempts to infiltrate site and is stopped only after the real doctor is found alive elsewhere. The disguise has a source. The real doctor is discovered tied up in his home, alive, with a large portion of his right arm skinned to provide the material sustaining the impostor. Interrogation reveals a larger threat without naming it. The prisoner knows the Foundation, knows other anomalous agencies, receives SCP-034 and instructions from an unknown benefactor, and is told to hold position inside site. SCP-034 remains safe because it can be locked away, sheathed, and watched. But its threat is institutional. It turns identity into a stolen physical credential, bypassing appearance, biometrics, and DNA. The current posture is containment by access denial and identity verification. The knife is held in a watched case. Anomalous humanoid tests are suspended, and every contact with SCP-034 remains a possible breach in human form.